If you have implemented caching in your application, then make sure you do not do this mistake, because if you do, then this single caching mistake can bring your entire database down. So let me show you what I mean by that. So imagine this is your architecture and you have a pretty popular e-commerce application which gets lots of user and lots of user visit to the home page, and in the home page you have a API called top products, and this API gets called multiple times, and luckily you have integrated Redis as a cache, so most of the reads happen from the Redis only, so database doesn't get much queries and the database stays pretty much chill. So everything is good until now, but there is a problem. So imagine that you have set the cache expiration time at this point. Right now it's 9:30, but as soon as it becomes 10 AM, then the cache gets expired, and at that exact moment lots of users, like 10,000 users, visited your website. And now that because the cache is expired, now instead of hitting the Redis, all of those 10,000 users will directly hit the database, and as a result your database will get a lot of queries in a very short amount of time, and this can overwhelm the database and your database might go down, and this scenario is known as cache stampede. So now to fix this problem, there are multiple ways. So first way we can do is a mutex lock. So in this case, imagine that cache got expired and suddenly 10,000 users came, and instead of all those 10,000 users hitting the database, what we do is that we check and we see that cache has been expired. So as soon as the first request that comes to the database, and it creates a mutex lock, and then when the subsequent users try to come to the database, they see that it is already a lock is there, so they do not query the database, they just wait. And first query that did the lock in the database, and once that query has been completed, then it fetches the data and it updates the cache. As a result, now whatever the remaining user who are waiting in the queue, those users doesn't hit the database anymore, they read the data from the cache directly. So in this case only one query goes to the database, and this way we can get rid of cache stampede. So another approach we can do is the stale while revalidates. In this case, as soon as we see that the cache has been expired, we do not allow all the users to hit the database. Instead we realize that the cache has been expired, but we still serve the old data itself, and while in the behind the scene we also triggered a background refresh so that we can get the cache data refresh in the behind the scene. So this user came and see that the cache has been expired, that user still gets the stale data, but the subsequent requests, they get the latest data, because the cache has been already been updated in behind the scene, and now we can serve the latest data from the cache itself. Another popular technique is to use the background refresh. So what we do, suppose that the cache will be expired at 10 AM, so we do not wait till 10 AM. Instead we see that as soon as it is like 9:56 or 9:57, we see that the cache is going to be expired, and we update the cache in advance. That way as soon as it is 57 minutes or 58 minutes, we already have the latest cache updated. We never reach to the point where the cache has been expired, and this way user never sees the stale data. Another popular technique is to randomize the cache expiration time. So you can gradually invalidate all the cache. So instead of invalidating all the cache at once, you can set the cache expiration time such that the cache are expired in gradual manner. So here see that we have bunch of cache, and for the cache expiration time we have set the cache expiration time randomly. That means at the same time we will not have all the cache expired. So it's not that at 60 minutes we will have all the cache expired. It's not like that. So we are invalidating the cache gradually so that all the cache is not expired at the same time and our database doesn't get overloaded. So these are the few ways using which you can get rid of cache